trade recap. This was from last week. We went ahead and locked in profits for around $21,000 on DJT. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to recap the DJT trade and show you guys what was going on as I took this position on DJT, because it wasn't just coincidence. Okay, this was absolutely sniped last week. So what I was doing on DJT was I was looking for a green dot. I took a position on this day here on the 26th. So what I was looking at in this chart was the fact that we were way down here on the indicator, right? This blue wave was very, very oversold. When it gets this deep down here, this is when you know there's going to be a direction, a return, because we're so oversold. I mean, this thing dropped from 55 all the way down to 24. I mean, that in itself is about a 50% drop. So when something drops 50%, right, 55% was the max drop on that. That's when you want to start looking to pay attention, because again, it's oversold. And we could see that the position was oversold because this blue wave was way down here. Okay, so when it was way down here, this is when it caught my attention, okay, because it was a falling knife. So I took a position on this. I can't even remember what my average cost was, but actually I do. It was $25.97. So I remember I took one on this specific day. It was like right down here. I mean, that was literally a snipe, folks. So what I was doing was we were way down here, and when I saw that we were very oversold on the 15-minute chart, so again, I'm watching the daily. I'm aware that, okay, the daily chart is very oversold, so I'm looking to take a long, right? And I actually ended up getting in before the green dot. The green dot came on this candle, but I was entering on this candle on that day when it dipped. Okay, and I was watching that candle because, again, we were way down here. So this is telling me we're way, way oversold. It's a great time to be a buyer. It's not a great time to be a buyer way up here. Okay, it's a good time to be a buyer down here because, again, we're overbought in this territory. When you're overbought, that means people are more greedy. Okay, you can also see that in the blue stochastic RSI there. Okay, you can see that when it hits the white dotted line, that's typically where we like to take profits. But when this thing was way down here last time, right, back in April, same kind of thing. We bounced right near that area. So that was technically a double bottom. It didn't hit the bottom. It's actually made a higher low off that candle. But this doji right here, I mean, that was the place to enter. What did I say my entry was? My entry was $25.97. Okay, the low was $24.83. So I was $1 off. But I entered on this day, and I entered because, again, I was watching the daily. So I'm thinking more of the daily time frame, right? That's like a week or 2 weeks, like a couple of days. The next two, three days should be up after this green dot. The green dot is the confirmation of a reversal, right? As long as the chart is green, we're going up. As long as it's red, we're going down. So whatever time frame you're trading on, okay, you got to keep that in mind. If you're taking a position based on the weekly, right, you want to wait for the weekly dot. If you're taking a position based on the monthly, you want to wait for a monthly dot. If you want to take a position on the 15-minute, okay, you want to wait for the 15-minute green dot to take your entry, boom, and then you can get in and get out on the red. Okay, so it's all about what time frame you're taking it on. You can trade any chart. You can use this strategy. You can use this indicator on any time frame. Okay, so again, I was paying attention to the daily because it was very, 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 very oversold. And then I looked at the weekly, and again, the weekly was right there on the bottom, right, the bottom of the wave with the light blue line. That's our stochastic RSI. When that's on the ground, we know we're oversold. Boom, we want to sell up in this area, buy down in this area. So again, I was paying attention to the daily. What I did was I got into the 15-minute chart, and I bought the first big green dot that I saw, and that was right here on the 20. Looked like the 21st. That's a big green dot. So again, the difference between a small green dot and a big green dot, and if you go ahead and just click on the indicator, right click, you can hit add alert. You can see there's different kinds of dots. So one's a big green dot and one's a small green dot. Okay, one's a big, one's a small. So the big green dots are more accurate than the small green dots. Okay, I use the small green dots on the very large time frames. Those are going to be the monthly and the weekly. Those are for the small ones. But on a daily chart, I'm looking for the big green dot. Okay, so if I'm setting an alert for a 15-minute chart or an hour chart or a 4-hour chart or a daily chart, I want to use the big green dot alert because those are the most accurate. Okay, when there's a big green dot, and that's exactly what we got right here. So you can see on the indicator, when there's a shaded area down here on the indicator, Okay, that is a big green dot. You can see this green dot doesn't have a shaded area. This one has a shaded area. So if I'm trading the daily chart, I want the shaded area in order to take a position. Okay, I want that big green dot, not the small green dot. The small green dots don't have that shaded area. Okay, and I only use the small green dots for the bigger time frames, like I said, on the weekly and the monthly. Okay, but the daily, we're looking for the big one. So I knew the big one was coming because the wave was down here below, right? It was below that white line. Okay, you can see this one came right here. It was next to it. This one isn't very close to that white line. If the wave, the blue wave is near this white line, that means we're very, very oversold. That is the time you want to be a buyer, right? If you're buying a good asset with a good trend that is up, okay, this trend is up and to the right. It's not down and to the right, okay? This wasn't a good time to buy DJT. Up and to the right now, good time to pay attention, because when it's up and to the right, that's when you know the buyers are in control, right? We're making higher lows, not lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. A lot of you guys are buying assets that are trending below the 50-week moving average. And that is one of our rules as to whatever time frame you are trading, the 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly. If it is below the 50-week on that time frame, okay, you do not want to be a part of that. You do not want to be a part of that, right? Because again, you're trading against the trend. As traders, we want to trade with the trend. So I personally only like to buy assets that are trending above the 50-week. On the daily, I can use the 200 here. Okay, that's the dark blue line on our trading indicator. Okay, the dark blue line on the daily. Okay, if you're looking at a weekly, okay, that's more of the 50. You can see DJT came right back into that level. I saw that, I identified that. I identified the daily was down here, okay, way overextended past our white line. And then I finally sniped it with the 15-minute chart on a big green dot, and then it just did the rippity-dippity. So that was a $21,000 profit trade there, plus 48%. Okay, and again, I owe it all to the indicator. This is just knowing how to read the indicator. Okay, that was the setup, folks.